Girls of Reddit, what subtle hints do you drop when you want a guy to ask you out? I mention being single as casually as I can. Tell all his friends I want to bang him. Good women always pass it on. I'm a dude, but I had this pretty hilarious subtle hint thing that happened to me a while ago. So I worked with this young lady at a job where we were doing a lot of mindless clerical work. The kind of thing you could do while having an in-depth conversation without breaking pace. So we chat a lot, talk about dating woes, friends, family, usual co-worker low-level friend stuff. One day I was singing a Billy Joel song. It was just on the radio and it was stuck in my head. I don't want to be alone anymore. I'm not looking at her, just kind of singing to myself. Finally she says, "Look, I'd totally be into you if I was even remotely attracted to you." Ha and ouch. So I ask her WTF she's talking about. She cites the song. I tell her I wasn't hitting on her. Sorry, I was just singing a stupid song that got stuck in my head. It should sound familiar as it had been on the radio in our office about 10 minutes prior. Oh, my mistake. Now, aside from the comment about not being attracted to me, I pretty much dropped it and moved on. So I don't know if I touched off some sort of nerve or something, but immediately afterward she started acting somewhat nervously around me. So I gave her some space. Figured maybe she was just embarrassed about the song thing. Then she starts complaining about being single, bored, wanting to do stuff. At first it seemed like normal conversation, but she just wouldn't let it go. So I suggested we go to see a band at this local place. She agreed. We were there for about 15 minutes before she just grabbed my head and kissed me. And that, my friends, is how I met my ex-wife. The subtle hint I gave so that I was interested in him was telling him that I liked him more than I'd ever liked anyone before. Found him extremely attractive, and would board a plane in a heartbeat just to go and duck him. He didn't think I was being serious. Took another year before I finally managed to convince him that I was dead serious about wanting to duck and date him. I'm gonna marry that man. I laugh at every joke he says. I can't help it. It's not being fake. I just get a nervous giggle that won't seem to go away. I ask him out. I point at my puss and whistle the A-Team theme. I like you. Wanna go out? My super subtle, testing the waters alternative. Edit, after we've been hanging out a while and there's clear interest on both sides. FFS, my tits aren't being whipped out all willy-nilly. If you want to, you can play with my tits. Just saying. And mbsp. Oh, and I'm single. Live in the southeastern US. Just saying. And mbsp. Edit. Oh boy. Just logged onto a wild ride. It. Guys, I'm 32. Edit. Yes. It's a trap. Good job, Admiral. Edit. There are no nudes. Edit. Jesus Christ. What the damn hell is happening here and why does this never happen in real life? Seriously, I just take good pictures. Reading this so I can learn what hints I should be dropping. I get touchy. Always text back in time, which barely ever happens. Meet him without backing out. Send him somewhat ugly snaps of me and stuff like that. Well, I try show that I trust him. Do you want to grab a drink sometime? Or alternatively, do you want to come back to my house to watch the Dark Knight trilogy? Second one is how I got my fiance registered sign 5 years ago. So girls don't hit on guys much is what I'm seeing here. Ladies, if you want to go out with a guy, I've got a great tip. Ask him out. Usually just drop my handkerchief for him to pick up. With the guys I was interested in, I made the first move. None of that subtle crap. The attraction was always clear on both sides though. No guessing games. I'm literally too nervous to drop any hints. One time, the guy I liked hugged me and I turned around and immediately broke a pot and the dirt spilled everywhere. So breaking it? 1. If I am confident he is into me or might be interested, I basically ask him out. 2. I casually give compliments and touch his arm lightly, fix his hair or tie or whatever. Actually look into his eyes while I'm laughing at his joke, even if it's not entirely funny. And also, I try hard and pay extra attention to listen to him while he talks about something he is passionate about or tells me something that happened, so that I can remember what he might be interested in, or link that information with something related 3 days later to show that I actually paid attention and listened to you and tried hard to remember what you said. It might sound normal, but for a girl like me who has her days and weeks completely packed and busy 90% of the time and has 176,528 things to remember, that one is a big deal for me. I once had a girl in a lecture hall in college just stare at me from across the room the entire lecture. She had no expression. When I changed seats she kept staring. She was hot, too, but I was a pussy. I used to drop subtle hints. Now I am 37 and find myself being much more direct. Met the guy I am seeing online. I sent him a message first. We chatted for a while and he suggested meeting. He was a bit shy, so I was the one that gave him a hug and friendly kiss on the cheek at the end of the first date. We got drunk on the second date and I ended up kissing him goodbye. He wanted to, but I could tell he was too shy to make a move, though I had the feeling he liked me. We have been together only a couple of months and I have not been this happy for a long time. So glad that I made the move. Don't wait around for him to make the move, girls. We are all asking for a friend. Thread solely being read by single men. I just get really quiet because if I open my mouth, everything stupid and awkward will escape from my brain. I almost never wear makeup. Just too much trouble to spend 10-20 minutes on every morning. So I wear makeup whenever I know I'm going to hang out with a guy I like. So in other words, if she usually doesn't wear makeup except when you have plans together, she might like you. There's also this TV show I watch religiously. I once skipped the season finale to hang out with a guy I liked. He knew how much I loved that show, so when it came up that I was missing the finale to be there, I played it off like I'd rather be hanging out with you anyway. Better believe that's the night we confessed we liked each other. These threads are always fun to read, but dudes and dudettes attracted to ladies. Please keep in mind that every girl has different cues I roll. One girl may laugh at your jokes even if they aren't funny because she likes you. Another may laugh because she genuinely thinks they're funny but isn't attracted to you. Applying threads like these in the real world can lead to awkward, sad, or even scary consequences. Be careful out there. Also, fellow dudettes, stop beating around the bush. If you like a dude, then be a damned modern woman and ask the dude out. Don't wait for him to get to it. We're capable of making the first move. The girl I'm interested in brought up feelings recently, since a friend said I liked her, and then brushed them off in a kind of sarcastic, playful rejection, saying something along the lines of "but you're so ugly." Was this her trying to bring up feelings or her trying to hint against feelings? I sat on his lap. We're married now. I'm definitely rusty, but I kicked my husband in the shins a lot and I waterboarded him once. Worked out well. This happened to me and the girl I'm currently dating. We were talking face to face for a while until one day she lost her phone, so I would call her from my phone. We started dating short after this because she was shy and couldn't ask face to face. All I learned so far in this thread was that no girl had ever wanted to go out with me. I'm showing him that I'm interested with everything he says or does. I also low-key ask him, "Also, have you seen this movie, Lego? Are you free on OSA?" Mention my lack of plans, usually with "going to be bored all day." When I was in high school I had a serious crush on a guy that I didn't know. We would pass each other in the halls, smile and say hi, but never had any real reason to meet. One day I happened to find a book that someone had left in the cafeteria called something like 101 Best 6 Positions. Can't remember exact title, but you get the idea. Later that day, when I knew I would pass him, I handed him that book and said, "Hey, is this yours?" and kept on walking. I could hear him shout out loud, "Woo-hoo-hoo." I'm really not that kind of girl, but it worked. I don't look at him and hope he asks me out. Hair flip. Unrequited laughter. Amalgamation of sneeze and crying. Then you get deep bruh. Guy here. I need this info. My move, which is a 100% success rate, is touching his arm when I laugh and saying his name. Like ha 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 ha, touch his forearm, oh my god John you are so ridiculous ha ha ha, and then hold eye contact as the laugh fades. Then, as the laugh fades into a gentle smile, still hold eye contact, and then pull my arm away shyly and look away. I smile at him. Mallet, I have a RBF. I've been told that I'd like to watch movie he told me he downloaded recently with you tonight. You have it on your computer, right? Want to go to your room and watch it together? Wink wink. Counts as a subtle hint. I brush up against his junk and say, oh I'm sorry. Flash a smile and walk away. I'm a coward, so I ask his friends about him. Specifically why he's missing at the group function, and act all or what. That way they tell him that they think I'm interested in him. Yeah. This is like a high school tactic, but it worked on the last guy and we're getting married next year. What if the girl who drops all these hints is already attached? Duck subtle hints. But when I like someone and don't have the courage to tell them directly, I laugh a lot at their jokes, play with my hair, smile constantly around them, blush a lot, stumble over my words, and find any and every excuse to talk to them. My girlfriend wore a pencil skirt to our work and bent over in front of me. I'm a really lucky guy. Men who are going to misread hints given in a public forum and be labeled as creeps. I stopped dropping any hints. Men apparently just can't process them. If I want to date a guy and he doesn't ask, I'll ask after a few days. My hints are too subtle for Vera alone. Whoa. Thanks for the confirmation, Reddit. I now know I have never received a subtle hint. This video really helped me narrow it down. You like beer? Cool, let's get some. Goddammit. I wish some hot girl would drop some hints my way. So lonely. I'd suggest going to events together, joke a lot and try to learn more about him by asking him questions, not stalking him haha. I tend to blush and not be able to hold eye contact for long, and also be super interested in whatever they are doing interested in. I once had a very long text conversation about golf. The older tricks in the book make him feel like a man. I just act vulnerable by asking for help for tiny things. Now I'm not boasting, but I'm not the dumbest chick on the block. When they usually step in to help me, I surprise them by grasping the concepts quickly. Not proud of it, but it works. Got me my current boyfriend and he's a catch. D. After I met my fiance, back then he was a guy I was crushing on. I asked him to join my and my parents' sauna while my parents were traveling. Staring at him a lot, averting eye contact if he happens to glance my way during the staring, blushing, making more of an effort with my appearance. Notice if she wears heels around you, does something different with her hair, wears weather inappropriate clothing when she knows you're going to be seeing her. And the biggest indicator, whenever something happens, for example, someone cracks a joke, the first person I look at is him to see his reaction to it, because I freaking love his smile laugh. As a guy, I've found that if the woman mentions that she has a bleached asshole, then she's likely down to clown. I'm 4th grade seduction level, so my technique consists in teasing the guy all the time. It sounds like, crush, I like hiking, me, so basically walking, crush, haha yes except it's in the mountains. I like nature, me, ha, lame. I grew up in a family where we do not know how to express our emotions. Thus instead we make jokes and tease each others to express our interest in each other's. I can't tell how many of them, but I'm 100% sure I totally ruined my chances with several guys. I grab one of my most beautiful hands and rub it all over his stupid eye holes. Make a Reddit thread that gets asked every week. Really gets them going. You got fellow down has a bunch. I'm married now, but I asked them out. True story. My current husband and ex-husband, I asked them out. Ex-husband and I had been talking on the phone and we were co-workers for a few weeks before one night on the phone. I just said, so, when are we going out? He was so shy. And yes, that was back when people talked and didn't text everything. Downward text. I don't know why anyone would be afraid of rejection. They aren't saying it to your face. I just told him straight up, hey, you wanna go out? He later told me I beat him to it and that he was going to ask me the next day. But we're both still pretty happy about it. I'm usually a sarcastic arsehole to guys I like. This thread only made me realize all the hints I got over the years. Duck. Lol, go from bubbly and playful to acting like a quiet freaking weirdo because I'm suddenly terrified of you. I honestly don't even know. I can be pretty shy, so if a guy is the same level of shy, we likely won't connect. BC, we're both too shy. Lol, I like it when a guy can just be himself and carry on a conversation. That really gets my attention. Then I slowly inch closer. I do that thing where I pretend I can't hear, so I turn my head and lean in closer in the hopes that my perfume will waft into his nose. Laugh at all the jokes. At this point, I'm actually enjoying myself, so it's a legit laugh. Really, though, I'm likely the one that asks them out, or if it's a first date, I'll say the we should do this again spiel. I don't know if any other women have the same issue as me, but sometimes I can be really clueless if a guy is flirting with me. I prefer to be direct, so I guess I subconsciously expect the guy to be direct also. I'm a guy, but I have some tips to share, because I haven't seen them mentioned. Sign that a girl is interested in you. She places her arm on you for 1-2 seconds. As a guy, you should also do this. Put your hand on her back or arm for 1-2 seconds. Read her body language. Check if she smiles when you talk and looks into your eyes. Signs she is not interested: if her back is facing you, if she doesn't look in your eyes, if she looks bored when you talk. Of course, Reddit girls say they ask guys out. Never happens in real life. 32 years old, been asked out once. Almost twice. The second time was so subtle, vague and evasive I had to ask if she was asking me out to actually be sure. Get blackout drunk and kiss him. A girl once came up and dabbed on me at a bar. Does that count? Personally, my style is to be anything but subtle. In my experience, directness, on the girl's end, is often appreciated, as guys are often expected to read all of the signs and make all of the moves. I decided to be blunt and direct with my now boyfriend since 1. It was obvious he liked me too. He's shy. 3. He wouldn't realize anything unless I spelled it out to him. I would literally show up at his place being like, hello, I'm here. We're hanging out now. I'm also gonna try to kiss you later since I know you like me. Girls, I have a list of things I've thought maybe are hints, or maybe nervous quirks, but I'm unsure. Please tell me yes or no for each one. If it is a hint. 1. If you're sitting about 2 seats over in a lecture hall, you lean in their general direction, and sort of face diagonally their way. 2. When passing by on the sidewalk, pull out your phone shortly before passing by the person, or if the phone is already out, put it back in your pocket right after you pass by the person. 3. General repetitive movements, such repeated tapping of the foot. 4. Saying thank you in a very energetic high voice when door is held open for you. 5. When standing in line, standing generally closer to the person, or rather than directly behind them, slightly to their side. 6. Standing in a more fashionable style when in the individual's view. For instance, the classic lean on the wall with the legs crossed, or arms crossed, etc., rather than standing like a pillar. Added on my list of hot topics to watch, for a friend, of course. When I'm saying goodbye to someone I like, I make sure I high-five them or make finger guns at them while walking backwards away from them. It doesn't seem to be working. This comment thread is ducking gold. I don't do that. If the chemistry is right, I'll ask him out. Ladies, just FKING tell him. A good amount will not bother chasing you. Wait, girls hit on guys? Oh, good looking ones? Okay, makes sense now. As a guy, here are a few tips. 1. Subtle hints do not work, ever or for anything. 2. Strong hints do not work. 3. Obvious hints do not work. If you want something, ask for it. My wife and I have a firm policy in this regard, and we've been happily together for 10 years. Why would I drop a hint instead of just asking him out? Huh?